Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, sorry, I was logged out. So I think I'm back now. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Just type yes. I'm going to be sharing the um, new YouTube link. So please share with others so that they can also join the new YouTube. Yeah, that's a new YouTube channel. Please share with others so that they can join. All right. So I hope I will not be logged out, but if I am, the news can log me back in. Yeah, good morning. My name is Alamufemi Ololade, and I'm here to take you class 4 of your FSC 113, which is Introduction to Software and Programming Languages or Language. Yeah, can you all see my screen, please? Yeah, you can type in the chat if you can see my screen so that I can continue. All right, thank you. Yeah, so those raising their hands, just type your questions. You may not be favorably disposed to questions for now. All right. So I'm sure in the last class, you would have been introduced to what hardwares are or is, and what constitutes the computer, as it were. The computer is made up of two parts generally. These are the software parts and the hardware parts. Now, the hardware parts is what you can touch and feel, right? And I'm sure in your previous class, you would have looked at the various hardwares that we have in computing, as it were. So the hardware is the touchable parts of the computer, while the software is what enables the various parts of the computer hardware to function seamlessly, right? The hardware performs certain functions based on what it is directed to do. And this direction is given by the software. Now, the direction to perform certain tasks is achieved by a line-by-line set of instructions written in certain formats and order called the software. So what we'll be looking at generally today is the software, which controls the workings of the hardware. Of course, they work in tandem, that they work together to form the working parts of the computer. All right. So the computer software is a set of programs, right, that makes the computer system active. Now, you can have a host of hardware, but this hardware may not be able to work, may not be able to boot, may not be able to print, may not be able to communicate with one another until a software is included. So software is a set of programs that makes the computer system active. In essence, the software includes a program that runs on the computer. So if we have said that software is a set of programs, and we also opine that software includes the programs that runs on the computer. So what is this program? So a program is a series of coded instructions showing the logical step the computer follows to solve a given problem, right? So if a computer is to solve a problem or is to work effectively, it has to be given some coded messages. Now, these coded messages is what is called program. And these coded messages are step by step, and also they are logical. So a computer software is a program. So invariably, we can say that a computer software is a series of coded instructions showing the logical steps the computer follows to solve a given problem. I hope you are still following. Now, the computer software can be classified broadly into two major groups. And these groups are system software and application software. The computer systems are classified into two major groups, the system software and the application software. All right, so let's look at that in detail. So system software, this refers to the suite. When I mean suite, a package, right, of programs that facilitates the optimal use of the hardware systems. This refers to the suite of programs that facilitates the optimal use of the hardware systems. Now, the system software provides a stable environment or a suitable environment for writing, for editing, for debugging, testing, and running of user programs. Examples of system softwares are your operating system. I'm sure you are conversant with operating systems, the language processors, and the utility software. As we go on, we'll be looking at these in detail. So let us consider first what the operating system is. Now, I'm sure you would have, in a way, or maybe one time or the other, or probably now or today, you would have put on your computer system, right? So the operating system is the suite, that means the package of programs acting as an interface. Now, when you say interface, that means an intermediary or something that shields you from the complexity of another thing. Now, for instance, if you are supposed to interact probably directly with the internal workings of your computer, it may become very serious for you, as you may not understand what you find inside. You may not understand the navigation. You may not understand the general workings. But the computer, the operating system is a suit that helps you overcome all these complexities that you find in the interconnection, interworking, interrelationship between hardware and other software. So an operating system is a suite of programs acting as an interface between the users of computers on one hand and the hardware on the other hand. Now, you should also note here, before we move forward, that the users of the computers can also be another computer, right? It is not always true that the users of the computer is human, right? We could have other users. Yeah, please, those raising their hands, you can just type your questions. I hope I'll be able to see it. Now, one of the suites called the executive programs remained resident in the main store. Now, I'm sure you would have been taught what is called the stored program concept, right? Now, the stored program concept is the ability of the computer system to put some programs in itself so that whenever it is needed, it is just picked from where it is stored and the set of instructions there are executed. The stored program concept is what differentiates the computer system from all other calculating devices. And this is the basis of the von Neumann architecture. So if there is no program stored in the computer system, then there is a problem. It is then not going to be a computer system as it were. So the OS controls the workings of the system and also controls all other programs. So if your OS, as your operating system, has not been loaded, other software or hardware cannot function effectively. Now, running a program involves several steps, and they include initiation of language processor, provision of data, initiation of execution of object program, then removal of results after final computation. Now, if a computer system has no operating system, it then follows that most of these very strenuous tasks will be carried out by the operator. And guess who the operator is? You. So imagine you having to initiate the language processor, you provide data at the same time, you execute the object program, that's what the computer can understand, then you get out the result. Now, this is a lot of tasks, but the operating system has helped you in such a way that it makes this easy. So please let me go to the chat and see if there are questions so far. Yeah, I'm not seeing any question yet, but some people are raising up their hands. So if you are raising up your hand, please can you type your question now so that I can look at it? Yes, I can see a number of people writing their names. Yeah, please share this the YouTube YouTube channel to those who are online, who are on the other platform, so that they can join the new YouTube channel that I've created, please. So please, you can do that quickly. Yes, I can't see any question yet. Yeah, so please, if you are raising up your hand, can you, okay, I think I can see somebody's question. Just a minute. Yeah, please, I'm coming. I think I saw a question quickly, a bit briefly. Yeah, please, can you type the question again? I think it's just disappeared suddenly. Yeah, please type your question now so that I can see what the question is. I lost track of it. A lot of things are coming in. Yeah, please define a stored program concept. I think I can see one S, then butterfly to everyone. Please, okay. Please define the stored program. Sir, you mentioned something about this the sort. I don't know what that is. This thought. Please, sir, define a stored program concept. Okay. What is stored program concept saying? Okay, sir, the YouTube channel isn't available. No, it's working now. I'm coming. Let me check the YouTube channel. But I think that is working. It is. Yeah, the YouTube channel is working, and a number of people are writing their names there. Yeah, almost 340 something on the YouTube channel, right? Okay, probably I will share that again so that you can share it with others. The ones we started with is not working, but this will work. Okay, I think the major problem I'm seeing here is the stored program concept. Okay, now let me quickly explain that before we move on. All right, so the stored program concept is, okay, let me just explain in a simple term. The stored program concept is the ability of the computer system to have programs stored in its memory. And I'm sure in the last class, you would have seen types of memory, right? We have the RAM and the ROM. We have those that are volatile and we have those that are permanent. So the programs or the software to be used for this concept are stored in the permanent memory of the computer system so that once there's power, this set of programs can be selected from the permanent memory, right? And the instruction sets or the line by line coded instruction can now be executed. For instance, if you press the power button on your system, right, you will see you just see something like a blue or a black screen on your computer system. Then you now see some maybe display of maybe some interesting logos. Then you now say, wait a minute, OS is loading and all that. Then all of a sudden, it just appear on your desktop. Now, as soon as you press your computer system, the stored program concept sets in. That means it fetches the software, which is the operating system that you have stored on your permanent memory, which is either ROM and usually on the hard disk. It loads it into the working memory of the system, which is usually the RAM and the cache, right? This continues to run up until you get to desktop. So once the OS is fully set up, then other programs or other application programs can now come into force, that you can now use them. So the stored program concept is the ability of the computer system to store programs that can be used for its functional operation. Now, imagine that if you want to use maybe Office or maybe PowerPoint or Excel, that it is when you need it that you have to install it. Now, that will take a lot of time and a lot of effort. So the store program concept is the ability of the computer to have the software that you would need resident in itself, so that it is not when you need it that you have to probably start installing it all over again. So that's the concept of stored program. Now, as I was saying before the question came up, now if a computer system has no operating system, it follows that most of these tasks, that means the tasks of initiating language processor, provision of data, processing of data, getting out results, will be done by the operator, and the operator is you. And imagine the level of work that you have to do getting that done, right? So the operating system reduces the operator's intervention to the barest minimum in its operation. So the operating system helps the operator to reduce its interaction with the computer system as it is operating, because if you have to always maybe interrupt the processes of the computer system, it may be a problem. So the operating system helps generally to help us reduce the workload that we have and also our interaction with the computer system. When I say system, that means computer anyways. So some of the major functions of the operating system are as follows. It performs resource sharing, provision of virtual machine, input and output handling, memory management, filing system, protection, and error handling. Now, at least you should just know this by listing. However, for resource management, what resource management does, we have several resources. When I mean resources, we have several parts on the computer, and we have several other things added to the computer, like the printer, like scanner, like your mouse, and a host of other things. So all these resources can be managed effectively by the OS. When I say OS, it means operating system. Then provision of virtual machine. Now, there are times where your memory may run out, right? So the computer system can create a special memory or a special operating capability that may be an extension of your computer system while you sort out your memory issues, or maybe your memory is full or you are running out of memory space. So it can sort that out. After that, it is returned to your computer system. So input and output handling: when you type on your screen, that's input. When you print out, that is output. Memory management: a lot of memory having to interact during the workings of the computer system. So you have the RAM, you have the ROM, you have the cache, right? So these memory systems are managed by the OS. Then filing system. Filing system has to do with where you store your typed documents and some other things. Also, memory management has to do with how or where you place some of these files that you have typed. For instance, if you are still typing, your memory management will put the file you are still typing in the RAM, because that's the working memory of the computer system. Then for protection and error handling, of course, you are aware that there are a lot of viruses online, right? So the OS helps in protecting you against some of this by helping you with some utility software like antivirus. Then the computer can run into errors at any time. So the error handling capabilities of the operating system is what I mentioned. So let's quickly look at types of operating system. I can see some hands up. Okay, let me go to the question, the chat. Sir, is it true that the ROM is used particularly to store program to start up a system? Yes, so ROM is read-only memory. Now, ROM is not, I can't hear you, sir. Please, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me, please? Yeah, can anybody hear me? Oh, yeah, some people can hear me. Thank you. Ekebafe Anthony, thank you. Can you see my screen also? Adetola, thank you. Ngoka Brenda, thank you. Can you see my screen? Can you see what I'm displaying? You can't see your slides again. Yeah, somebody can see my slide. Yeah, I don't know. Probably you should check your system. Yes, I can hear you, sir. Sir, is it only when there's power that software runs on the computer? Yes, please. So once or if there's battery, so let me not say if there's power. You could have a battery stored up. So it can also work when the battery is fully charged. Okay. Yeah, sure. I can see and hear you clearly. Yeah. Thank you, Karim Mohammed. The slide is small at the top. How is it small? Yeah, probably you are using your phone. Okay, so let me see the question that's. Okay. So when there's power, then the system will always work. So if you have a question now, can you quickly type it so that I'll go back to the class? We can see every display. Yeah, thank you, Magdani. Is it the software that makes the computer boot? Yes, please, it is. It is the operating system. Someone asked if HTML is an operating system. HTML is not an operating system. Please, I can't see anything. But I'm also connected with my mobile phone and I can see on my screen and I can also hear. So I'm testing that. So somebody said I can hear. What do I do? Please check where you are. Sir, does it mean that operating system have a lot of suits? Yes, please. You have any questions? Tap to join audio if you can't hear. Okay, thank you for your suggestion, Masha Christopher. I can hear you on YouTube channel. Oh, thank you for the feedback. Who again? Yeah, please type your question before I leave here. And for those of you raising up your hand, sir, please do recap before you move on. So before you started operating system, you mentioned about system software. Please, can you take that again? System software. All right. Is operating system a type of software program? Yes. Sir, please, what are suits? Suits are a set of programs. Just like you have your suitcase, you put some things inside. The slide is small at one side before it full on my phone screen. Well, you take care of that. Sir, does freezing of computer system caused by ineffectiveness of the operating system? Yeah, this is beyond your class. Sir, how does operating system reduce the operator's intervention? Now, it reduces the intervention that you do not have to interfere with the processes. Now, the computer system works with code, works with programs line by line. Now, imagine if the computer system is running a line of code and it's supposed to transfer control to the next line of code. Then there will be a problem if you, as the operator, have to quickly type something in between those codes, or if you have to disturb the smooth flow of the codes being run. Also, the operating system is a set of programs and is also a line-by-line instruction that tells the hardware what to do. So you not being able to, okay, for instance, if the operating system is to calculate maybe the sum of two numbers, and just when it is running the first one, supply the first number, all of a sudden you say, no, calculate three numbers. That you are interfering with the system. Now, sir, does freezing of computer caused by ineffectiveness of operating system? Well, I said this is beyond your class because there are other things that you need to consider before you can conclude. You may have that your CPU is slow, or you could have that your RAM or your ROM is slow. You could have that your hard disk is running out of space. Now, you could have viruses on your system. So it is not just operating system that causes the freezing of your computer system. Now, yes, sir, can you please give us some example of each of the operating system? Of course, you have Windows operating system, you have Unix, you have iOS, and a host of others. Again, the slides becomes big. And sir, please, when we are using our workbook, so can we get it ready, sir? So when are we using our workbook? When you are using, I think it will be communicated to you, sir. Is type of operating system and class of operating system the same? We'll get there shortly. I can't hear you, sir. Please check your audio. Sir, before you started operating system, you mentioned about software system. Please, can you take it again? Okay. Now, I'm sure you know we are time bound. Sir, what is an operator? And where is it located? All right, sorry that I have to laugh. Now, an operator is somebody who works on the computer. So the operator can be you. When you use something, you're an operator. For instance, if I ask you to open the gate, right, you're an operator on the gate. So when I say put on my computer, you're an operator of the computer. So that's why I said you can have a computer being an operator of another computer, and you can have another human operating the computer. Ubuntu, is it an operating system, sir? Yes. Tap, okay. I can't hear anything. Okay, I can't hear you, sir. Please, can anybody still hear me? Yeah, if you can hear me, say yes. Thank you. All right, please let me find out from those who are on YouTube, can they hear me? Yeah, I'm having a lot of people hearing me. So probably your network isn't cool. Please, lecture for us now. At the end of the class, we ask questions. Oh, okay. Thank you for your perspective, your perception or your view. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, thank you for. I can hear you perfectly. Yeah, so probably you have a network issue. So let me continue. All right. So, types of operating system. Now, in computer systems environment, the operating system could be classified basically into the following: single user, multi-user, real-time, network, distributed, embedded operating system, multi-processing operating system, etc. Right? So let's look at this very briefly. Now, single user is only available to one person. So everything that has to be done on the computer is handled by just one person. So a single user operating system is solely designed for the use of an individual, right? Now, examples are the operating system found on the microcomputers, otherwise known as personal computer. I'm sure some of you have your personal computers, but if you don't have, I'm sure you get one soon. So example of operating system that works on this is the Windows 8, Windows 10, etc. So multi-user system, operating system. Now the multi-user is an environment where a computer called the host. Now, you know, if you want to do party, there's somebody who invites every other person, right? That person is called the host. So in a multi-user environment, we have the host, right? And that host, okay, let me use a party example. I'm sure most of you like party jollof rice, right? So if somebody invites you and say, please, oh, I'm having a party this weekend, will you be around? And you say yes. So as when you are going to the party, you are not supposed to go there with your own food. Well, in our own culture here, anyways, you're not supposed to go with your own food. But in advanced culture, you may have to go with your food or drink. But the host, we have to provide everything that we need. So if you need water, the host will provide. If you need drinks, the host will provide. If you need where to sit down, the chairs, the host will provide. If you need a fan, the host will provide. Anything you need is provided by the host. So also in multi-user system, the host is shared by many users through terminals. Just as I've explained, somebody may need water, somebody may need carbonated drinks, somebody may need rice, somebody may need beans and meat. So all these needs are provided by the host. So the terminals can now be the meat that is required by one person, the seat, the fan, and the other things needed by different people. So they are shared by many users through terminals, i.e. the console and the keyboard. Examples of system that uses these are that. So let's look at real-time operating system. Now, it is a multitasking OS that executes real-time application using scheduling algorithms. Now, when you say multitasking, it is the ability of a computer to do many things at the same time or many things concurrently. That means you can be bathing, you can be reading, you can be pressing your phone, you can be attending lectures at the same time, just as some of you are. You are inside you are inside a bus, you are traveling, right? Or probably you are in another practical class, right? So you can be somewhere and in the other place, receiving lectures in a public transport, or you are driving and still listening to lectures. So that is multitasking. However, human beings are not capable of multitasking. Multitasking has to do with things happening at the same time. So the human brain is not configured in that manner to do plenty things at the same time. Though you can have time intervals where you give attention, a bit of attention to this, a bit of attention to that, but that will not make you so effective. So it's only the computer system that can multitask effectively, right? It is a multitasking OS that executes real-time application using scheduling algorithm. So scheduling algorithm is like timetable, tells you where to go at a particular time. They are either event-driven or time-driven. When you say event-driven, it may be that once something happens, it triggers the next thing to happen. But time, there are specified times that the action will have to happen. So types include the hard real-time system and the soft real-time system. So the hard real-time system, it process as data are entered. So as soon as you receive data, it starts the processing, right? Data can be from you, the operator typing, right? Or it could be from sensors around or the output of another process. Then for soft real-time system, it gives a few seconds before processing is started. Now, for network operating system, now computers are semi-independent, connected together. With this connection, various resources like printer, file server are being shared by the connected system. Example of operating system in network environment are those, right? So distributed OS. Now, distributed OS manages a group of independent systems. Now, you can see networks are semi-independent. Then for the other example, in multi-user, we have them being dependent on the host, right? For network, they are semi-independent. For distributed, they are independent systems. The only thing they do is they are connected together, right? Then, no, sorry. Network, they are fully or semi-independently connected. With this connection, various resources like file servers are being shared. Now, for distributed OS, manages a group of independent systems and makes them appear as one. Computations are carried out in a distributed manner, but a single app. Now, what we mean by distributed manner is this. If I have 25 students and I want to fill up a 25-liter keg, now I can just tell each of them to go and get me 1 liter of water each, right? So I've distributed the task to each of them independently. So what I, as the collator, will do is to just collect the 1 liter, pour it in the 25-liter keg, and I have my 25-liter output. Then for embedded OS, they are designed to operate on small devices, right? They can operate with limited resources. Now, when you have a very small system, right, the ROMs are programmed in a very small microprocessor so that they can be able to work seamlessly on very small devices. So you may not need sophisticated hardware like the typewriter to be the keyboard to be able to get in data into them, right? You may not need very big displays, right? And they are just limited to what that is attached to them, and this they can work with effectively. Multiprocessors. This is a system where two or more processes, sorry, two or more CPU is operating on a single OS. OS means operating system. They serve that's if one of the CPU fails, right? So one serves the other one, or the other CPU continues to work. But if none of them fails, then more jobs can be done. So that's the advantage of the multiprocessor. So language translators. Now, individually, we understand different languages, right? Some of you can speak Hausa, some can speak Igbo, some can speak Yoruba, some can speak Efik, some can speak Kanuri, Ibibio, and a host of other languages that are available. Now, imagine that as an individual, I'm a Yoruba person and I travel to the north. I will need somebody who can interpret or translate the language being spoken there to me for me to understand. So also, the computer has its own language, and its language are just a group of zeros and ones called binary numbers. I think in the next class or two, you're going to be learning what binary numbers are. Binary numbers are just a group of zeros and one, and the computer system only understands these numbers. Now, if you write your name, let's assume, let me look for one name as an example. So let's say we have Victoria, right? Okay, me. Okay, Ladi Akinyemi Kikiola. Yeah. So once you write that name on the computer does not see your name in that respect. If you look at the memory of the computer, all you will see are groups of zeros and ones. 01, 01, 01, 01. So A has its own binary representation. B has its own binary representation. 0 has its own binary representation. 1 has its own binary representation. So anything you want to type on the computer screen is interpreted into what is called the object code or the machine language. So the language of the computer is the machine language. So a programming language is a set of notations in which we can express our computer program. At the initial stage, at the initial stage of computer development, programs were written in machine language using binary systems. That means zeros and ones. However, computers can run programs written only in machine language. That means in binary. There is therefore a need to translate programs written in any other language to their machine language equivalent. So if I go to the north, there's a need for somebody to be able to translate the language into what I can understand. Else, the whole essence of my visits will be wasted. So these are software dedicated, there are softwares dedicated for the purpose of translating any other language that the computer does not understand to what the computer understands. So we'll be looking at those dedicated softwares, and also we'll be looking at these languages and how it is translated. So therefore, we have a number. So they are collectively, these softwares are collectively called language translators. Now, the initial program written in a language different from machine language is called the source program. So irrespective of the way you write it, maybe it is high-level language, it is low-level language, it is called the source, where it is coming from. For instance, if I speak Yoruba, or I'm a Yoruba person, and I go to the north, the source language in the north is what? Hausa. The source language in the east is what? Igbo, right? So this language has to be translated using a language translator. Now, while its equivalent is machine language, it is called the object program. So once the source program is translated into the language I can understand as a Yoruba person, then that is called object program. So there are three examples of classes of language translators. We have the assembler, we have the interpreters, and we have the compilers, right? Can you still hear me? Some of you, if you can, please let me know. Can you still hear me, please? Oh, thank you. All right, thank you. Can see some of you responding. So let's look at these three quickly. So an assembly language is a set of notation using symbols or mnemonics. Now, when you write a program using symbols or mnemonics are just readable words like short forms, like when you want to write a program and you write prog, when you want to write multiply and you write mul. So it's a shortened form. So those are mnemonics that are readable and can be used to write computer programs. So these are readable and they can be used to write computer programs. So an assembler is a computer program that accepts a source program. Now, you know what source programs are now. From where, for instance, I said I'm a Yoruba person, and if I travel to the north, the source program is Hausa language. So accept the source program in assembly language and translate it to object program called object code, right? So each machine, when I mean machine, each computer. So in each computer, you have what you call a microprocessor. So each microprocessor has its own assembly language, right? So it therefore means that programs written in assembly language on one machine cannot run on another machine. Why? Because they have different processor class. Now, different processors may include the Intel 8085, right? The Intel 8086, the Motorola 6800, the Motorola 68000, the Zilog 80, and the host of others. That is beyond your scope anyways, but we have different microprocessors running on your systems. Okay. The next is the interpreter. So an interpreter is a program that accepts a program in a source language. It reads, it translates, and it executes it line by line into machine language. Now you can see the difference between an interpreter and an assembler. An assembler just converts the language straight up, but an interpreter goes line by line. It reads one line, it translates and executes it. That means it works in a line by line version. So compiler. A compiler is a computer program that accepts a source program in one high-level language. Now, when you say a high-level language, these are English-like words that can be easily understood by anybody. They are not like mnemonics, they are not shorthands, they are English words. So reads and translate the entire user program into an equivalent program in machine language called the object program or object code. So the stages involved in compilation or in compiling is one, You have the lexical analysis, the syntax analysis, the semantics analysis, and code generation. Though the code generation can be sorted into different categories. So, of course, these levels are not, it's still beyond your scope, but it's for you to know that it was mentioned. So, of course, we have meanings for lexical, syntax has to do with the arrangement, semantics has to do with meaning, then code generation is coming out with the results of the compilation. So, utility software. These are common programs used for data processing, and they are called service programs, or they can be called service programs. Utility software is a system software designed to help analyze, configure, optimize, and maintain a computer. They perform the following task. Sorry, I think this should be D. They perform the following tasks: file conversion, file copy, housekeeping operation. Now, when you say housekeeping operation, that means they help maybe save when you are typing. They help to arrange your desktop and a host of other things. Yeah, I can see a number of people raising up their hands. So please wait. Examples of utility software are defragmentation, system profile status, virus scanners, text editors, archives, and a host of others. So, at the beginning of this, we said we have system softwares and application software. So, all we have dealt with so far is the system software. So, what we are going to look at now is the application software. So, application software are programs designed to solve problems of a specific nature, right? So it could either be supplied by the computer manufacturer, or in some cases, the user produce their own application program called user program. Hence, an application program software could be subdivided into two classes, namely generalized or user defined. Let's look at that quickly. So for generalized user software are softwares or application software that can be used by everybody, that's cut across uses. For instance, for you to type your assignments, right, you need to get a word processing program like Microsoft Word, Notepad, etc. All these things are made available to you on your computer suite. So you have word processing suite, right? Desktop publishing programs like CorelDRAW can be used by those into graphics design and a host of others. However, user-defined application software are specified to do things that are personal. For instance, if I work in a transportation company, I may want to develop software that looks like how you pay on Lagbus. That is a user-defined program. It cannot be found on your computer. You have to design it by yourself, or you request somebody to design it for you. Also, for instance, a payroll, or if you have to pay into some accounts, maybe your tuition, your departmental dues and all that, those are specified by the users that, okay, if this individual pays, please mark in that, okay, this person has paid, then you can proceed to the next step. So those are user-defined application software. So below are various generalized packages that we have. We have word processing, spreadsheet, integrated packages, graphic packages, database packages, statistical packages, desktop publishing, game packages, communication packages. Now, this you could just read I'm sure you know what word processing packages are that you, at least you have typed. Spreadsheet for those, Excel, integrated packages, graphics for those who draw, databases, SQL server, and the host of others, statistical packages, SPSS, desktop publishing, game packages. I'm sure most of you will be interested in game packages. You like to play games then. Communication packages, well, you may have things like your WhatsApp and others. So we have been saying that language, like I was giving examples that I may speak a particular language and the other person may not understand. So we need a translator to be able to do. Sir, your screen is not displaying. It's not displaying what you are saying. How do you mean? Is it the live transcription? Yeah, it's still showing. I can see the live transcript. Yeah, we can see the screen. Yeah, thank you, Said. It's displaying. Okay, please, if you have a personal network issue, please try to sort that out. I may not be able to help you with the personal network issues, right? I was also logged out earlier today in the class. I think there was a network shake. All right, so computer languages are a set of notations for communicating coded instructions into computer for solving specific problems. Each language has a unique set of keywords representing an operation, and each has unique structure for using the keywords. Now, you say each language has a unique set of keywords, right? The keywords are unique to a particular programming language. You see, we're saying something like in compilation process, we have syntax, right? We have semantics. No, so the keywords representing, okay, sorry, has a unique set of keywords. So this the set of keywords are arranged in a particular way called a syntax. So the arrangement of words in certain ways is called syntax. For instance, if I say I'm coming, that means it's a syntax. I must be before coming so that it will make meaning. But if I say come I, of course, syntactically it is correct. You can put them, but does it have any meaning to you? No. So that means we have to say that the syntax has to be correct. The semantics has to also be correct. So each language has a set of unique keywords representing an operation, and it has unique structure. Structure is the syntax, meaning is the semantics. Now, the language understood by the computers are a group of ones and zeros called binary. We have said that earlier on. So there are three types of languages that are available. We have the machine language, which is the object code. We have the low-level languages, which are written in mnemonics or shorthand. And we have high-level languages written in English readable words, right? So let's look at machine language. A program written in machine language is directly executable by the computer. Now, for instance, I'm a Yoruba person and I understand Yoruba and I can speak Yoruba. If somebody speaks to me in Yoruba directly, I don't need to convert that statement or the speech of that person into any other language before I understand. Also, I understand English and I speak English. I can also interpret English directly. But if somebody is speaking Hausa to me, I cannot directly understand what the individual is saying. I have to convert the equivalence of what the person is saying to Yoruba or English for me to understand perfectly. Now, such programs are coded using strings of zeros and ones. Such programs are tedious to write. Now, if you have to write your name alone, it will take several zeros and ones. Now, it is tedious to write. It is also tedious to read. Now, when you have to write zeros and ones continuously for a long period of time, it is prone to error, and such errors are difficult to detect and correct. So the first of programmers wrote their programs in machine language. Now imagine the stress people in those days had to go through running their programs on the first generation of computers, right? If you make just a simple mistake, comma, you have to wait probably for 2 days or a week to get an opportunity to run another set of code. So it was tedious. So for every problem we encountered in computing, a solution is profiled in the next generation that is to be brought, or is to be published, or brought to the market. So assembly language. An assembly language program is one written using mnemonics or symbols to denote opcodes, registers, and address. Now, opcodes just means operational codes. Registers are the memories used in microprocessor, and addresses or operands, that means what you need to do. Like if I want to add two numbers, I'll say add X, Y. Now, such programs eliminate all the problems encountered using machine language. Now you can see that instead of writing in zeros and ones, what we need to do now is for us, in a way, to write in simple semi-English words that, of course, you can guess the meaning. When you say sub, it may be subtract. When you say add, it should be addition. When you say move, it should be a movement command. However, it requires a translator to translate a program in assembly language into an equivalent program in machine language. That is the only language in which the computer runs the program. High-level languages. These were developed to further ease the work of programmers by making the program problem-oriented as opposed to low-level language that are machine-oriented, right? So instead of writing things to communicate with the computer, what you do is that you define a problem and you provide solution to that problem. So other intermediaries like the translator, the assemblers can now translate the problem for the computer to understand. So the statement of high-level language are closer to natural English language. A program in high-level language is called a source code or a source program and must be translated, compared to an equivalent object program or code by a compiler of high-level language. Now, there are many high-level languages today, but each has its own compiler. Example of high-level languages are this. All right. So the assignment you are going to be having today is that you are going to list and explain or analyze 10 high-level programming languages that you know. Now, I've given you some of them here, right? So you're supposed to write 10 and explain how they work. All right. Well, I think at this point, I can have some of you type in your question so that I can answer a few questions before the class ends. When should we submit, sir? All right. The assignment is to be typed, right? You submit to your class rep, right? So your class rep will compile all of them into a WinRAR, like you just join them together, just as we have learned on application software. Some software helps us to group a group of documents that you have typed into one, right? Then it is now, at least it becomes just one file instead of almost 7,000 of you sending documents to me. So your class rep will just pick it up from different departments. So you have a central, what's the name? A central rep that your class rep in turn will send that to. Then I just want only one document from all of you, right? So we have maybe the Department of computer sciences, their rep, you send your assignment to your rep, typed, that's in soft copy. So the class rep will compile all the assignments and put them into an archive. You can use WinRAR or any other software, right? So once that is done, it is in turn sent to the faculty rep, right? So the faculty rep for each of the faculty will now send it to one individual who will in turn send it to me. Sir, can you go back to the last slide? What's there? Okay, sir, can you show the last slide of assembly language? It should be hard copy, right? No, it's not hard copy, sir. Can you go back to the slide? Okay. Sorry, I'm reading and I'm also attending to you guys. Oh, you want to write the stuff? No, that's not nice. You want to copy some of those art stuffs. Slide 22, please. What's wrong with slide 22? Yeah, I'm coming. Let me look at slide 22. Yeah, this is slide 22. You want to copy some of the what's the name? Some of the examples of high-level languages. Okay. Sorry, please help us type the procedure for submission. That's what I've been saying. Sir, should we make the assignment in form of PDF or MS? PDF, please. Make it PDF, sir. So we are to submit the assignment as PDF, not hard copy. Yes, please. Sir, I don't understand how the assignment is to be done and submitted. Now, you should open a Microsoft Word, type the assignment in there, convert it to PDF, send to your class rep. Now, when are we submitting the assignment? The assignment is to be submitted on or before Monday next week by 12 noon. Please recap on the assignment. All right, the assignment is you look for 10 examples of high-level languages. You write notes on them. You type them. Sir, our assignment should be in soft copy, like send it in PDF. Yes, sir. Can you please send us the slide through our course rep so we can write the notes and read later? Now you have reading materials that you can look at, right? So the reading materials is available at the Department of Computer Sciences or at the library. Some of us are writing notes. Writing notes in class. You have reading material. When should we submit? I've mentioned Monday by 12. So how can we get the written material? I've said that go to the Department of Computer Sciences or to the library. Slide 21, so definitely should be soft copy and combine the whole class into a single PDF. No, into a WinRAR. Each person. Okay, now let me quickly mention that you need to, as a matter of principle, do not copy somebody else's work. If you copy somebody else's work, you'll be scored 0. So please learn to be independent and write independently. Do not allow somebody to copy and paste your work. The person may copy your matric number too. So this is how you do. You will save that document that you're going to send to your class rep with your matric number. So on the document, you write your name, your matric number, the course title, and the assignment. So once you want to save the document, you save it as your matric number. So your matric number is what will appear on that PDF document. Sir, do a general recap from the top, please. What top? I've just concluded the class. I should start all over again. Sir, we don't understand how to do this assignment. Ask your friends who understand. I said you should look for 10 high-level languages, then explain them or talk about them. That's all. Then save them on your computer. And we need this slide. So please, can you go back to the slide explaining generalized and user-defined software, please? When I was submitting Monday, When is it due? Monday. Sir, can you please send us the slide? Sir, please, can you go back to the slide when you generalize? Okay. Sir, can we group machine language and assembly language as low level? Yes, please. And a single user multitasking operating system part of the types of operating system? Yes, please. Sir, please, can you go back to the slide explaining generalized and user? Okay, I'll go back there soon. Sir, can you please send the slide through the class rep? Sir, please, can you go back to the slide explaining generalized? Okay. Sir, are object codes and machine language the same? Yes, they are. If they are, please, can you explain objects? Can you re-explain object, the difference between object program and object code? The same thing. Are we sending it through email? Yes. Could we also use Google Doc for the assignment? No, I'm not creating a Google Doc. Sir, please, can you go back to the slide? Okay, I will do that. How about people that don't have a matric number yet? Save it with your JAM registration, sir. How should we submit? Submit your class rep. Sir, please, can you go back to the slides? When I'll go back. Sir, since everyone's assignment will be matched together, how will you get the names of those? No, you will submit one document, a file, a PDF file, one for yourself. So if 10 people have submitted, I will see 10 PDF documents, right? So your class rep will now merge. It's not going to copy what you have written into one whole file. No, there's a way that you can group all these 10 files together in WinRAR. WinRAR is a document that helps you populate different documents into one file. It's not going to merge everything you have typed. You have your own assignments on a file in that WinRAR. WinRAR is a software you can look up on that. So please, can you go back to who is this fellow? Deborah. Explaining. I will go back to that, please. There are a lot of messages I'm reading. So, sir, please, can you go back to the slide? Okay, I'll go back. Sir, please, what's the meaning of opcode? Opcode means operational code, as explained in low level. Okay, opcodes are just instructions given to programs in assembly language, like MOV, move, or MOV, move, ADD, add. If you don't have matric number, call. Sir, please, can you go back to explaining? Okay, let me look at other messages before I go back to the slide so that I don't, sir. Can we have a sir, please, can you go back to the slide? Sir, object code, you have answered that. Sir, please, can you go back to the, this person is really angry. Okay. So what about batch B that don't have matric number? Use your JAM registration. Can we basically describe user-defined software as the regular apps we download to our system, e.g. Uber, Bank? Yes, please. Yes, that's correct. So I think I have, sir, please spell the name of the software that the class rep will use. WinRAR, WinRAR, WinRAR. Sir, is low-level language and assembly language. Is low-level language. Assembly language is a low-level language. Sir, please spell the name of it. I've just done that. WinRAR. Thank you, precious Ayomide. So Ayomide has written that. Sir, please, how many marks is the assignment? You will see the marks. Sir, does that mean the class rep will submit only one folder that contains all the PDF files? Yes. Sir, can you show us the slide of language translator? Sir, please define a PDA, portable documents file. Portable is okay, like handheld device. For instance, if you have used an iPod just small device that you can use to do specific tasks. Sorry, I didn't get how we do the assignment again. Okay. So sir, is there any type of high-level language? Okay. Please, how do we answer the assignment? That's serious. All right. So I think let me now go back to generalized. Yeah. So I'm here now, generalized. So when we say generalized software, application software, and we have user-defined application software. Now, generalized software are those that can be used by several people to do a particular function. For instance, everybody needs to type, right? Everybody needs to, probably most people generally needs to design some graphical works, right? So the use of word processing program falls under generalized, that everybody can use it. However, can you go to bursary or to bursary department and you ask them that you want to maybe type on the accounting package that they use for payroll? No, that is user defined. It is for a specific purpose and it is limited in use. As a matter of fact, it is not every staff of the bursary that can work on that package. It is selected people that can work on that. So that's the difference. Generalized has to do with large population of people using a particular application software, but user-defined, it is streamlined to just a particular problem and is limited to the number of people who can operate or use that application. All right, so let's look at a rundown as somebody has asked. I said you have the software and the hardware and software work together in such a way to provide a working system. And we said that the software is the part that contains the instruction that tells the computer what to do. So we also define we define computer software, and we also define what a program is, to be a series of coded instructions showing the logical steps the computer follows to solve a particular problem. So when we say you write a program in low-level language or in high-level language, you are only writing a series of coded instructions. Now, once you write it in high-level language, that means you are writing it in words that we can easily read and understand. If you are writing it in high-level language, you are writing it in English readable format. If you are writing it in low-level language, it is a series of zeros and ones. Also, we said we can classify software into systems and application software. Please, sir, explain what this one is not. So we have system software and application software. Now, for system software are things like operating system, language processor, utility software. They say they refer to as suites of program that facilitates the optimal use of the hardware. So anything that helps us to use the hardware effectively is a system software, right? So just a recap, then we have the operating system. It helps us to, it shields us from the complexity of the computer, from the hardware, and it operates on the stored program concepts, right? So the operating system performs the following, helps us perform the following perform the following functions: resource sharing, provision of virtual machine input and outputs, handling, memory management, filing system, protection and handling of error. And that I've explained while I was teaching earlier on. So we have types of operating systems. Now, when we say types of operating systems, that means the category that they fall into. Now, Windows is a form of operating system, but it can fall in within the following categories: single user, multi-user, real-time operating system, network operating system, distributed, embedded, and multi-processing, right? So we looked at the explanation for each of these. Let me see what's, yeah, who is raising up the hand again? What's the problem? Type your message, you can. So we looked at single user, we looked at networked, embedded, multiprocessor, then we went to language translator that translates from a language that a program or a code is written into what the computer can understand. And there are different types of language translators. We have the assembler, we have the interpreter, and we have the compiler. We have the assembler changing the assembly language written in mnemonics or shorthand words into object or machine code. Object code, machine code are the same. Source code is what you write on your screen. Then we have interpreters and compilers. And we said the stages involved in compilation include lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantics analysis, and code generation. Now, utility software. Now, the WinRAR that I was talking about falls under utility software. Now, these are common packages used for data processing, and they are called service programs. Utility software is a software designed to help analyze, configure, optimize, and maintain a computer. They perform the following tasks: file conversion, file copy, housekeeping of operation. Example, now you could defragment your hard disk if it's getting too full. You could create different profile on your computer. Maybe you want to create a partition, or like you have your brother or three of you, you want to be using a system. So you can create a user account for each of you to read different names. So you have different passwords. You have virus scanner, text editor archive. So text editor archive is where the WinRAR falls, right? Let me put it here. So we have the WinRAR. So that's where it falls. Sorry. My system is lagging a bit. So I need to defragment the system so you can see the application. So we have finished with what? System software. So the next is application software. So application software are software programs designed to solve specific problems, right? They are not used for managing the hardware or software resources, but they are designed for specific problems, right? So we have generalized and user-defined. Generalized are things that you can use, or everybody can use it to do a particular type of work. But user-defined is narrowed to just a few people using it, right? And it is used for specific purposes. Then these are generalized packages that we have. Then we have computer languages. We said we have machine language, low-level language, high-level language. So machine language is called the primary language of the computer. Then low-level language is written in pseudocode. Then high-level language is written in English-like words, right? So all those are explained here. So the assignment is now list and explain or analyze 10 high-level language programming that you know, and you are supposed to submit to your class rep at the time, not, sir, I don't have a matric number yet. Put your JAM registration number and put your name in the document. Yeah, please, I explained how to submit the assignment. I have explained that already. Submit to your class rep. Submit, you type the assignment on a Microsoft Word, you convert that to PDF. Then once that is done, you save it. You send that to your class, you submit it to your class rep. Then your class rep submits to the faculty rep. Then the faculty rep submits to one of the faculty rep who will send it to my email address, right? So do we have any questions before we end the class? Yeah, questions? I don't know my faculty rep. Then submit to your class rep. Please, sir, can you review example of generalized software? Generalized software. Example, okay, let me just give you example of generalized software. Example of generalized software is word processing packages, right? You have Microsoft Word. I'm sure you would have typed on Microsoft Word at some time. So if you have typed on Microsoft Word, that is an example of a generalized package. Okay. Please, can you remove? So yeah, I will send your email at my email address to one of the class reps. So one of the class reps can send a direct a WhatsApp chat to me. The assignment should have a matric number, your name, and your department. Can I say system software? Sir, slide 2. Can I say system software and software as software that the operational on the computer, please to clarify? Well, I don't understand the question you asked me, Chioma Easy. So when is the deadline? Monday. Can you go back to slide 22? No. The assignment should have matric number, department, and your name. I've explained this now. What is your email meant for, sir? Okay, that's not meant for you anyways. Yeah, do you have any other questions? Please, kindly go to the last slide. Why all of you requesting for the second to the last slide? You want to copy what? So this is the second to the last slide. Is there any problem with it? Oh no, this is the second to the last. Yeah, so what's your question on second to the last slide? Yeah, so in the absence of no other question, I hope that you get the invite for the next class. I'm not going to be the one teaching you for the next class. So please don't come to my inbox asking me for the link. The link will be provided generally to all of you. I think I sent out my link early enough. So I hope the next lecturer will also send in the link for the next lecture so that you can all join as I went due. Yeah, so what is Bakari Abdulaziz? It is not meant for you. You don't need my email address. I said my email address is for the class rep who will send just one document to me. I don't want you guys flooding my email with several documents. Yeah, so for those of you who are on the YouTube channel, you could like the page, and you could write, I'm seeing a lot of matric number. So for those of you on the YouTube channel, you can like the page. And if you don't like it, you can put a dislike. Yeah, a lot of you are still writing your matric number. So I think I'm going to wait for those who are on YouTube. Before I end the class on Zoom, so that at least you can have the opportunity to write your name. Yeah, I have only 300 candidates on the Zoom, and I'm having several names coming up again. If you are on YouTube, write your matric number and your name there. I'll find it there. Yeah, for those of you on YouTube, if you like the class, you can put a like on it. And if you don't like it, you can put a dislike. Yeah, somebody is raising up. Why are you raising up your hand? Okay, for the, no, you are supposed to use any email, not your, you may use your Microsoft email accounts, no problem. But I think for those, you are supposed to, so everybody should submit to their class rep. So your class rep will forward it to another person. So I just want one document for everybody. Now I'm explaining and explaining. I do not want anybody thronging my office asking for, just go and meet your class rep. Do not come to my office to say you want to submit. Just contact your class rep, give your class rep your assignment, and that's all that it is. So it's your class rep. We look for a faculty rep, or one of the class reps can help send the document. Maybe one person can just volunteer to take it up and send it to me. So one of the class reps will chat me up privately, right? Then I can give that individual my email address so that I don't get thrown with several emails in my box. All right. Do we have any other questions before I end the class? Yeah, those on YouTube, I can still see your attendance coming up. And those on Zoom, I can still see several names. Who is this Chimanda or something? Okay. Please, I need number 1 to 3 slide. For what? That's where my name is and the introduction to the class. So for those of you who are just joining the university, we welcome you most sincerely, and we wish you a good stay in the university. On behalf of the HOD of Computer Department, Professor Adewale, welcome you. And on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty, welcome you to University of Lagos. We hope that you have a good stay and a good experience in University of Lagos. So you're welcome. So with this, that we do not have any further question, we have come to the end of the class. Please have a pleasant day and have a fruitful week ahead.